Welcome to the Ugly Truth. Ugh.
Ugh.
I don't know if we should have our own intro
Yeah.
instead of doing
Oh.
because you're not an ugg.
I'm not.
You're a hug. No, you're an ugganon.
Ugganon. Uggadon.
No.
That doesn't work.
We'll have to figure something out.
Me too. I'll just say me too.
No.
Ditto.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the Ugly Truth. How are you?
I'm decent for a
Good.
Monday. Decent.
Not bad. Not bad. I saw something. It was an awkward moment.
Wait, you saw an awkward moment or you had? Okay.
No.
Okay,
I
got
have
it.
not had an awkward moment. Well, that's not true. That's not true, actually.
Hold the phone, everyone.
I did. I've had. Okay, so I'm awkward just
Sure.
in general. I've always been clumsy, and we talked last week about how I break antennas and remotes
Yes.
since birth.
Yeah, I don't remember what show that was, but it was recent.
So there's that.
Yes.
And just in general, just existing,
Sure.
I'm awkward. And it only happens when you're out of town. I don't know why.
Oh,
it's
okay.
so hilarious.
So it's happened more than once when I've been traveling.
I mean, I blame you, of course, because
Well,
you're not here
clearly.
to prevent this situation.
Oh God.
I have to go. Okay, listen, I want everyone to know I was not. Okay, yes, I was born a princess. I was. And
Yeah.
I've done the genealogy and the ancestry. And it is true that we do come from some level of royalty. I wouldn't say queens and kings, but maybe if you could go further back. But it's definitely
Right.
not peasant.
Got it.
All right.
A non-peasant.
So lots of lords and ladies.
Lords and ladies.
So anyway, getting back to my point,
Sure.
my ADD has completely
Yeah.
gone off the rails with this. So I don't know how it happened, but somehow I have the ability to stay in bed and someone brings me coffee
The coffee fairy.
every day. Well, you're
Yeah.
not a fairy, but
Yeah.
yes. And so forever, I can't remember when I didn't have to get up and get my own coffee.
Yeah.
You bring it to me and it's great. Now, there is always a few little droplets on the carpet. We have to get the carpets cleaned because it
Yeah.
happens, and because I complain if you give me only a half a cup.
So I fill it to the rim
So you
and
fill it high.
cautiously come up the stairs.
Right.
Although I have not fallen and flung cups of coffee.
So when you're traveling, if I want coffee,
Yeah.
I
you
have
gotta
to go
get it.
get it.
Yeah.
So I have to descend down to the staircase and go to the kitchen with the help
Oh God.
and pour my own coffee.
This is gonna explain the stain on the carpet. I just know it.
Now, sometimes I will relegate myself to downstairs because I don't feel like risking the spill.
Ah.
But most of the time,
Wise.
I'm not awake yet
Yeah.
because it's early. And so I'll go back upstairs and just sit in bed and do Wordle or whatever and look at the day's horrors. And so then the other day, I went up the stairs and I had a little too much energy for 6:30 in the morning. So I went up the stairs, and it only happens when I'm wearing my slippers. I went upstairs, tripped up a stair, fell forward, and spilled half the cup of coffee on the stairs. And I was like,
Did you injure yourself?
no,
Oh.
no, it's all carpet, and I'm
Yeah.
wearing, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I was mad, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So cleaned it all up. There, the stain is.
Yeah.
It's coffee. It's got to be completely cleaned
yeah.
professionally. And so then I told you about it. Oh, that really sucks. And then you traveled again, and I did the same exact thing, the same stair. It's like it's
Did the stain
twin.
fall on the same stain, or was it?
No,
Oh.
because I tried to stop myself this time, so now it's on the stair below.
Got it. Of course.
Its little sibling is down below. And now
See how many stairs we can get.
for
stained.
me, it's just let's just rip out the carpet. I'm
Yeah,
over it.
I know,
But I will
know.
say this: if we put hardwood on those stairs, I fear that I would break a leg.
Yeah.
So we have to keep the carpet,
Got it.
but we got to get it cleaned. Or just recarpet the whole thing at this point, and I think what we should really do is have a coffee station in our bedroom.
I was gonna say the next logical
Let's
solution
just
is to
call
make it.
it-
You don't have to go downstairs to get the
Ever.
coffee.
How about if we just hire someone to manage downstairs, and I'll just exist and live upstairs?
How often
and never go downstairs.
How often do we drink coffee downstairs? Would you say out of 10 times, how often are we drinking it down? I should say you. Me, I'm working, but
I don't know. Not that, well, it just depends. I mean, when you're traveling a ton, I'm downstairs all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm required to be an adult and I have to go down and do the things.
Oh,
but
no.
when I'm princessing, I drink my coffee, I go into my room, my office, and I do my office things. And then I'm like,
the office / studio could be a good solution because well over half the time it's upstairs.
Right.
You're drinking it upstairs.
At
right?
least, well, the first cup, yes.
And on top of that, my worry about putting something in our room, for example, would be I can't make you coffee at 7 a.m. when you're sleeping and throw on.
Yeah.
But the office, which is / studio,
yes,
which is also upstairs, could be a solution.
Possible.
Could be a solution.
It is possible.
I mean, so there is a downside.
Well, we would have to get a refrigerator.
Well,
for the water.
So that's the problem.
Because I'm not using tap.
Because I don't see you drinking coffee where the water came out of the bathroom sink.
I mean, do you expect me to use county water? Unfiltered county water? What is wrong with you? Where are we? What is this?
So we'd have to get
dog patch
or a water cooler.
No, okay, see, it's becoming a thing now.
Right,
Now I don't want to do any of it. Forget it. I will just risk the trip. Okay? Forget it. Dumb.
Or a lid.
No.
Coffee cup with a lid.
No. None of it. None of that's happening.
I'm
going downstairs.
Amazon lids for coffee for people who fall on stairs with coffee cups.
Like a grown woman, and I'm going to go get coffee.
Full grown ass woman?
I do believe that I need a murderous robe to descend, however, so I need to get a sheer robe with flower boa sewed to the bottom, and it's got to have a train, although I'll probably fall. So
you can't have something too long, especially coming upstairs. You'll be tripping all over that thing.
I know. Well, I guess I'm just doomed to be common.
Or you could just go down naked.
No. You know what I realized the other day when I was outside, we were getting ready to leave or whatever, and it was kind of in the morning, and our neighbors who we absolutely adore.
Yeah.
I think their kitchen is right there or bedroom or something is right there.
Did you see a neighbor naked?
No, but their window, it's a small, it's like a porthole, octagon
I feel like
window.
that's their laundry room, but.
Well, no, it's something because she was sitting and I mean, I could tell she was not standing. She was stationary.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, if I walk down the stairs and she so happens to turn.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not often that I walk downstairs with no clothes on, but it's happened, obviously. It's my house. And I'm like, God, just perfect timing. Yeah. She could see because we have that big opening window above our front door. Yeah. And at night or something, oh my God.
Could you imagine you would like shuck dive down the stairs?
Honestly though, but we wouldn't see. That's the thing. And I'm kind of wondering if they've seen skin ever. You don't know? You don't know.
I come downstairs naked all the time.
God, you're seeing.
You know why? Do you know why? Because I'm not an adult.
Went.
You know why? Because I'm not an adult. And we do laundry downstairs, and I fold all the clothes, and half of the things I own, I leave sitting folded on the fucking washer. So I got to go downstairs and get it myself. And sometimes I don't want a robe.
I will tell you that I don't think that we are unusual. I know that there are people, like we have friends they're crazy, organized, everything has a place.
Yeah.
They can't sleep with mess. And I am jealous of those people. Yeah. I don't know how you become that because I have never been that way. I'm not messy. Basically what happens is it gets to a point where I go, this is disgusting. Why are we living like this? And then all of a sudden, we're living in a pristine house.
Well aware of when that happens.
Except when it comes to laundry.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And you know what I really hate is my sisters are like, you could just send it out, get it cleaned. You could have groceries delivered.
That's it's funny.
And you know what's funny? They 100% do that.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
They're like,
part
throw
where
money at the problem. Why are you living like this?
That's the one.
Why are you suffering?
That's the one area where you haven't gone princessy is you won't let other people buy your groceries for you.
I don't want them to.
And you don't send out, except for dry cleaning stuff, you don't send out laundry.
But yeah, I'm just, I don't, it's a control thing, really. Plus, you're like, well, we should just get somebody to come in and clean like maybe once a week or whatever. And I'm like, immediately no. And Stephanie is just like, why? You should absolutely bring someone in here and do all the things you don't want to do.
You would clean it before they got here, though.
I can't. I struggle with that. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Oh. Should we try it?
I think it's because I'm pretty good at it, so I don't really want someone else to come in. I don't want to.
But I mean, like if we cleaned the house, if we cleaned our normal clean,
what are we gonna have them clean? I don't want anyone in my bathroom.
I said normal clean, just like.
Come in and do the dishes.
No, there's no way we do the counters every time in every bathroom and everything and unless we do a clean.
I do.
I know, but like we don't.
You don't.
That's like monthly.
If I pass, please get a house cleaner.
Okay.
Please get someone to come in here and clean up this place. But in the meantime, your counters are clean. Don't worry.
They're not.
Yes, they are.
Not when the kitchen, I don't do the counters very well. I just kind of wipe them down. So
guess who comes in the next day and does it?
I know.
I'm just saying.
I'm aware.
Anyway.
Adulting.
So it reminded me of my awkward moment.
Yeah.
And so
going back to your original.
I was reading something in the Sacramento Reddit and it made me laugh a little. And then somebody else noted that awkward moment. And because they were basically asking like, what should I have done? And trying to get feedback from the Black community, basically. And then this other person noted another awkward moment. And it was really funny. So this woman, she's unemployed and she's looking to network. I mean, she's working tempy stuff, but she's looking to find a great position. So she goes to these networking events that people have. All these different organizations have networking events and they're great. And so she's like, oh, so I found a networking event. It's in my field and it was close. I got a ticket and I went and I didn't realize as a white blonde woman, this was a networking event for the Black community, for Black owned businesses and such. That's what it was. Right. It wasn't for unemployed white girls.
Right.
So she goes, so I walk in and I'm like, oh shit. This is embarrassing.
Yeah.
And so she apologized. She's like, I guess I did not read it clearly. I'm so sorry. And she's in it. And they're like, come in. Like, they're not going to kick her out. Yeah. It's not segregated, but it's primarily for Black-owned companies and whatever.
And she had to be white and blonde.
And she goes, I'm blonde and white. She's like, she goes, they couldn't be more kind and obviously hospitable. They're like, no, this is not a Black-only event. Yeah. It's for Black-owned, businesses.
Kudos to you for showing up.
Sure. And maybe she'll get a good job. I mean, you don't know.
Who knows?
So then somebody
Where
goes,
are all the white women at?
There's one here. So somebody, they were kind of laughing about it. They're like, oh, you're fine. It was whatever. Yeah. And then this guy goes, that reminds me of the time that there was there's a Jeep club for Black owners.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's
sure.
Whatever. It's
There's lots of Jeep clubs, but that makes sense.
Yeah, so this one was for Black owners who own Jeeps.
Sure.
And this guy thought it was a Jeep club for Black Jeeps. So he shows up to this gathering.
White guy, but with a black Jeep.
This white guy shows up with a black Jeep. And they're like, what are you doing here? He's like, I thought it was for Black Jeeps. I thought that was the funniest shit I'd ever heard in my life.
That's good.
Oh my God. I don't think he stayed, by the way. I think he politely left. Well, but that's still hilarious to me. I laughed so freaking hard when I read that.
It was for Black owned Jeeps, not Black Jeeps.
That's correct. Can you imagine? It's like, hey, the Red Club is here. The Red Jeep Club is down the street. Fool.
Well, I could see it in the Jeep.
He just misread it.
But also Jeep people there's a lot of different versions of the club, like they're city specific or they're there's a bunch of different variations on Jeep clubs. So
that made me laugh though. I was like, I don't think I've ever done anything like that, but it did make me laugh. The other thing, and you may remember this story. We were not dating, or we were nothing. I think you were still selling actually at the time. This was the radio station, but somebody today said, hey, what's the most annoying thing you've ever been reprimanded for at work? Like dumb, stupid, unreasonable shit. Like where you've been like purposefully, like officially reprimanded.
Oh, right.
And I have a story, and I have shared this story many, many times because it's so ridiculous.
Okay.
I got reprimanded for showing up to work on time. So I was the executive assistant for these 2 radio stations that I used to work at.
Okay.
And the executive was really weird about. He was like the 8 pieces of flair guy.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
like,
He
well, the bear
wanted you there early.
Yeah. And so I would show up on time every single day. I was never ever late. I was never even a minute late. And that was training from my previous job when I worked at an insurance company where you couldn't even be a minute late because you were taking calls all over the country and you just couldn't be late. And so showing up on time was easy. So I would show up on time every day.
At your desk, ready
at
to
my
go.
desk, working at 8:30 a.m. promptly every day. And he showed up one day and got furious with me, pulled me into the office, and he goes, why are you always showing up at 8:30? And I'm like, because that's the time. Am I wrong? He's like, you should be showing up early. You should be showing up like 10 minutes early so you can get your coffee and you can talk to everybody and be social. And then at 8:30, you're ready to settle in and start working. And I'm like, okay, are you telling me that I have to be here at 8:20 now? Is that the new start time? He goes, no. And I go, okay, well, what time am I supposed to legally be here? And he said 8:30. I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm like, I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, it's 8:30. I'm like, okay, well, I'm here at 8:30. He goes, you're not working at 8:30. I go, can you give me some times in which I was not working at 8:30?
Yeah.
Give me the notes. Like, what day was this? Because you have told me that I'm not even allowed to be social because, the DJs liked me. So I couldn't be social with them until their shift was over because that was a thing. And I don't drink coffee. So where do you have days? And were there several days where I wasn't doing the job at 8:30? He's like, no, but it's that's just what I expect. And I went, so you want me here at 8:20? Is that the new start time? And he was like yelling.
Yeah, I remember.
Yelling.
Well, I remember you telling me this.
And I was pissed because I'm like, look, I'm a single parent, and at the time I was the only single parent at the office, which was a thing.
Yeah.
And I said, it is a miracle that I'm here every day on time. I'm a single mom. This is what it is. I will be here at 8:30 every day. I don't drink coffee, and I will start working just like normal. Yeah. So I thought for sure I was getting fired. For sure. Because I told him I wasn't coming in early. I said, no, I'm not coming in early. No. So he tried to get me fired.
Right.
And the HR woman, the business manager, who was amazing, by the way, she's like, not only are you not going to fire her, you're giving her a fucking raise because she will sue us and she will sue us and she will win and it will be everywhere. It's a media company. Everyone will hear about this. She's a single mother. Are you insane? So at 4:00, he calls me in. I'm like, okay, here we go. Now, back then, I mean, I'm kind of tough, but I was way worse when I was young. And so I come in, I sit down, and he's like, I just wanted to let you know that I think you're doing an amazing job, and I'm giving you a huge raise. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, anything else? Nope. I'm like, is it 8:20? He goes, no, it's 8:30. And I'm like, all right, great. And Julie, who was the HR, she was the business manager. Well, she was more than just she was in charge of everything. Yeah. She's sitting there quietly crossing her legs, staring at him the whole time. The whole time. She's like, go by the script, you fool. And I got up and I walked out and I was like, I've never been so furious for a guy being mad that I showed up at 8:30. But you know what? I worked at a time, it was at the very tail end of when they were harassing women. Like it was at the very end of that shit. I had a couple more instances and then after that, everything got super strict.
Right.
You couldn't mess with women in the office at all. And it was like, man, I just missed it by that much. Like they're like, there will be no more Christmas parties where we bring a bar into the office. Those days are over because women are getting assaulted in the bathrooms. Like it was serious.
Yeah.
Like they're done.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
I
Can you imagine? I'm mad at you because you're on time.
I don't recall there being one where I was mad or pissed about it. There was one very early, like first job at a first real job, full-time job. And I got called into the office, and this is a very small office. It's a radio station in middle of nowhere. My first sales gig. So I'd already been on the air before, but I'd never been in sales. So I went to this small suburban type market to go into sales. So I get there. I've been working there. I don't know, probably been there for several months. And I got called into the office by the boss, who's this Mike something. He's old codger, been doing this for 1,000 years. And when I tell you small office, there's like 2 salespeople, a secretary, 2 DJs, and a general manager. That's it. So I walk in, and he's like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?" I'm like, "Sure." He goes, "So there's something I need you. There's like a habit that you do that I need you to not do."
What were you doing?
I was adjusting. Without realizing I was adjusting.
You're such a child.
And
how old were you?
20.
Oh,
19,
no.
20, 21,
That's
20.
so embarrassing.
So,
did you just want to die?
Die. Absolute die.
Was it in front of everybody?
Well, not like...
Was there like a door between you and the...
He didn't give specifics.
No, I mean, when he was talking to you, was it in private?
Oh,
or was it like in front of the three other people?
No. It was in private. It was
in private.
It
was the secretary.
It was in private.
She's just like, God,
and
that
she was
kid.
she was an old nice lady or whatever, but whatever. So
oh my God. Okay. Well, that's valid, dude.
So yes, it was it was valid, and I realized that this was my first job.
Oh my God.
Where I was wearing slacks of any kind, right? I was not. I wore jeans or whatever everywhere else I gone. Jeans, shorts, like so. I was clearly
dress pants were new for you.
They were new. They were new for me, and not that that's an excuse, but apparently it was something I did enough to warrant somebody to say something.
Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed that I'm married to you right now.
Sorry.
God.
I mean, I guess it could be worse that I would have nothing to adjust, but I guess I wouldn't need to. You know, but still, it was pretty embarrassing. It was pretty embarrassing.
Oh my God, I would be like,
yeah.
Well, anyway, I have nothing further to add.
I don't know.
I got nothing to say
Top
to that. No, I don't want to. That's awful.
Yeah, it was awful.
What a terrible, terrible story. You should be embarrassed.
I was embarrassed. I am. Still.
Did you hear that Bobby Flay is dating Brooke Williamson?
I did.
Okay, so I was going to talk to Stephanie about it, but it's getting old news, and I want to talk about it really quick. Okay. So here's what's funny about Bobby Flay. Why does the man not tread beyond Food Network? Like, why does he just fish in this tiny pond of women that he works with? I don't get it.
Well, I mean...
dude, you're Bobby Flay. Get out there.
I'm not excusing it. However, he's not going to... He only works in 2 places. His restaurants... and on Food Network.
He don't work in no fucking restaurants anymore.
Well, he goes into them like any chef.
He's gonna wander in like, hey, everyone.
But my point is that those are his employees. So that's a no, right?
Well, officially.
Well, that's true. So my take is that the guy shoots 87 episodes of everything he does.
Yeah, and she's on that new show he's doing.
And so they probably just get close because it's all he's doing is working. So.
You know what's funny, though, is that I'm not the only one who
live on separate coasts also.
Well,
not sure
I believe she has moved.
She moved away from her California restaurant?
She's not in that. She sold it. She closed
she did.
It's closed because she did that with her husband, ex-husband.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So she went through a pretty traumatic divorce.
Did not know that.
And they have a son together. From what I understand is that she has relocated, but I could be wrong. You know, it could be bi-coastal. Sure. I have no idea. But I did notice, and I'm not the only one that noticed, that Brooke started looking kind of thin in the last couple of years. She just looked...
she's not thin already?
She was tiny, but now she looked gaunt. She looked like she wasn't...
She's a badass chef.
Very much so. Yeah. But this is not about that. So I noticed it. I'm like, God, she doesn't need to lose any weight. My God, she's so thin already. Like, she's such a tiny woman. Well, she was going through a divorce.
Sure.
And that will wreck you. It will wreck a person. And so that's why I think that she looked so not thriving. I'm hoping, because like the photo they went public with, like the official standing next to each other wrap around each
Holding
other's
hands,
waist
whatever. Yeah.
crap. She still don't look great. And I'm like, I really hope this is transitional. Bobby is fine. I mean, I don't mind a bad boy, and he's got money and all the things.
Yeah.
He's a redhead. No offense to redheaded men.
Yeah, that sounded offensive though.
Nothing wrong with redheaded women, but
No. Well, I mean, listen, if you're a redhead and you're a player,
he's a little
Godspeed.
darker in the redhead. And I'm wondering if he's gray now, because you never know with
Speaking
anyone
of
anymore.
redheads, did you see Ed Sheeran's going to go to that Nashville and do country?
No, I'm not surprised. What's country going to do? They got to do something.
Right.
They're not playing real country music artists anymore, so
No,
they might as well bring in
they-
some pop stars.
They basically rap or sing the same shit. So
I'm so disgusted with the country music scene right now. The real country music artists you're not going to hear on the radio anyway. You got to either go somewhere to see them live, or you have to seek them out.
yeah,
Which is fine. We know who they are. I mean,
we do.
If you love country, you know who they
Sure.
are. And they're not on the radio. They're not on American Idol.
With some exception, they are not on there. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Right. So anyway, no, I did not hear that. I do like Ed Sheeran though.
Yeah. Well, he's talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Redhead. His red hair.
That's another made famous by Taylor, right?
No, he was famous before her.
He was?
Yeah.
I
Of
thought
his own right.
I thought he opened for her.
Well, he might have,
and that's
but
how
he
he
was
got famous.
Well, first of all, he's from the UK, and he was huge in the UK.
Oh, that makes sense.
So there is more to the world than
Maybe
the United
here.
States.
Maybe he got more famous here because
I don't think so. I think I think he kind of carries his own fame.
I had never heard of him before Taylor Swift. So
Well, that's fine. There's a big wide world out there, and there's a lot of artists.
I know.
So I'm just saying.
I know lots of artists.
There's more than Taylor Swift in the world, honey.
Not
God.
in this fucking house, there's not.
Hey, you know what? It's fine. There's nothing wrong with her.
No, of course
She's
not.
the best.
I know.
She says what I feel, man.
Man.
Seriously. What else did I want to talk to you about today? Oh, I guess we can talk about the Masters.
Yeah, that was fun.
Are you happy
I
about Rory?
Yeah, it was good to see him. Well,
I
it was
didn't realize-
painful to watch him go through that because the mental toughness that when you've just been expected to do this for so long and to actually pull it off, because, he's not getting any younger. So he's not going to, he's not old by any stretch, but he's been playing very well for a very long time.
A couple of things about Rory really quick. Mm-hmm. I did not realize that he and his caddy have been friends since they were 7.
Since they were kids. Yep.
And that I saw an interview with Rory
They were
McIlroy when
each
he
other's
was like
best men even.
he was
in
like
their
8 or
weddings.
9 years old, and he was being interviewed by Pierce Morgan or whatever. Anyway, he was being interviewed by him, and I'm like, this little child was like, he's basically the UK's Tiger Woods.
He was a prodigy from very early on. And his parents, because he was a prodigy, his dad worked 3 jobs, mom
So they
worked
could
overnights, did everything, made all the sacrifices.
I really hope they're living in a castle now.
And he has been a top world golfer for a long time. Even when Tiger was really good, Rory was right there with him in a lot of cases. Sure. He's only I think the 5th or 6th to do the Grand Slam, which is to win all 4 majors. And this is the one that had eluded him.
Yes.
And
for a long time, 11 years.
He missed a 3-foot putt to win it.
That it really explains the weeping
right
afterwards, because he's like, I can't believe it.
Well, what if
I had no idea?
What if you had this thing in the bag with 9 holes to go? You had 2 or 3 terrible shots. You missed a 3-foot putt to win it. The guy hits the ball 370 plus. He can it just shows you this game is crazy, right? He misses this 3-foot putt with everybody rooting for him, and now he's got to do a playoff hole against this other guy.
I heard the other guy took 3 minutes to do a putt, to sink a putt.
And you know what? If it was worth $5 million, I would fucking do that too. You will sit here and wait for me.
Apparently, they're like, that was rude. I'm like, it was? Why was it rude?
Because he knew.
Could have fucking won.
So Rory missed the putt. That forced the playoff, because that guy had been done for a while.
I know, he had to come back out and do
He was
it.
warming up the whole time. Rory played the last 3 or 4 holes.
God, how fucking stressful.
So then then he had to be driven
to the
hole, right? So he drives all the way to the hole.
He's like, I might be getting a green jacket right now.
And then Rory
That's crazy.
just dots his second shot within 3 feet again, almost like the same distance he had missed. And so Justin Rose, who was the other guy, was like, there's no way he misses this putt. I have to make this putt to force another hole.
Okay, got you.
So he spent every angle he could look at that putt. And you know what? Godspeed. Normally they wouldn't do that. It's a playoff for the Masters, biggest tournament, one of the biggest tournaments in the world. Take your time, do it. And he just missed it. And all Rory had to do was sink it.
You probably know this. I did not. That when you are Jim Nance, obviously, is the one that's been doing the Masters for many, many years. Apparently, there is very specific verbiage you have to use when you're talking about the Masters, when you're commentating at the Masters. Yeah. Like, you can't call it the crowd. You have to call it the gathering.
Yep.
There's like all of this very, very specific
steep tradition.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so he was saying, can you imagine the relief of being able to talk like a normal person when you drive away from that assignment? Like, it must be so, like, the place you have to go to maintain that tradition of talking and just all of it. And there's really no one better than him.
There's no tournament like it.
So it's like, I was curious because it's like, I want to go.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
So no, I can't just go.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, but so it's like, you can buy a member's pass because they're not tickets. You have to buy passes. So you can buy a member, whatever golf course this is. Yeah. You can buy the pass for the day or the weekend or whatever. Yeah. And if you misbehave, because they're not even allowed to sell the pass really, right. But if you misbehave, they literally come out of nowhere and they will snatch the pass off. Not only will they cancel the membership to the person that gave it to you, you're banned for life. And I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, you can't. So they lock up your phones, which a lot of people like.
I did know that.
So the couple other stories I
0.5% lottery luck.
Yeah.
It's almost
random.
Impossible to get one.
You have to know somebody. Absolutely have to know somebody. Like,
can we call in a favor?
So anyway, the couple of stories that I thought that were new for me this year. Well, the locker room I didn't know about until this year. The other thing that Rory gets to do next year is he hosts the champions dinner. So he gets to pick the menu.
Oh, sweet.
And all the champions have dinner before the Masters starts.
That's
and
amazing.
There's a big deal. Remember how when Obama was president, he would do his book list or his song list for the summer or whatever. Yeah. This is like that. And the menu actually gets published. Like you
can see whatever he's going to be
There's going to be some Irish motherfucking food on that menu next year. I guarantee
Definitely.
it. And then the other thing I learned is that if you zoom, there's two things I learned. One was if they do a drone footage and they zoom out, there is a house standing by itself right near the entrance of Augusta.
Okay.
It is the one couple that refused to sell their property.
They're like, no, fuck you. We're living here.
And there have been millions of dollars and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, I can't imagine.
And the husband passed away like 8 years ago, but the wife still lives there.
Good.
And they still own it. And so they still have that house. The other one is,
I love it.
The other one is they call him the Masters Mystery Man or something like that. So it doesn't happen every year, but you have to qualify to get into the Masters.
Right.
Okay. Well, sometimes it's an odd number of qualifiers.
So some rando will
get put in there. The best Augusta club player, so the person who's a member at the club, who is the best golfer at the club, gets to play with the last guy, or first. The first to tee off. He has his caddy cannot have a name on the back. He is literally no one knows is supposed to know who he is. He's the first to tee off, and he just goes. So he's the mystery man, and so I guess there's got to be a perk for that though. So this year,
other than just playing in the Masters, there's got to be a perk. Well, you get to do probably all the things, right?
Well, they don't keep score.
Oh,
they don't, none of it. You're just playing with that last guy. So, but all the golfers know you. So and they're not supposed to talk about you. What? But apparently this year was interesting because for something like 20 years, it was the same guy.
Oh.
And this year it was a new guy.
Did the guy die?
No, this guy's better.
Whoa.
Apparently.
You know what?
You have to earn the right to be the mystery man, apparently.
Can you imagine the absolute raucous of that club before the Masters hit? They're like, God damn it, Toby got it.
So
that must have caused such drama.
That guy played in
the clubhouse. Can you imagine the wives? Oh my God.
So I saw this story about this guy, and then I forget who he played with, but the thing about the Masters is there's no randos. Every single guy there is a star. Right.
Except for the mystery man.
Well, so my point is though, is that the guy he's playing with is I forget who the golfer was this year that played with him, but he was not, like, they're not supposed to talk about him, right? But he's like, how'd you play today? He goes, the other guy, he's a baller. Like, he made a compliment, and he complimented the guy.
That's awesome.
So anyway, so a little, that's what I love about the Masters is like you find out all these little intricacies. And
I do know lemonade's only $1.50.
And all the food's the same price it's been for fucking forever. The hot dogs, like, there's famous drinks there.
It's
and
like the Costco of the Masters.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah, it's a thing.
Anyway.
And people really like it because it's a little bit more pure, right? So anyway, congrats to Rory. Like
that's pretty cool.
He's only like the 5th or so player to get that Grand Slam, and man, that's huge for him. And he's number one. I think he's gonna be number one in the world right now. So
I think a lot of people were happy to see that monkey off his back too.
For sure.
I don't follow golf like you do, but I do enjoy the big events.
Yeah.
You know, when they're they're always amazing to watch.
Plus, everybody was hyping up the last round because DeChambeau is a live golf player.
I know. That was a big deal. They didn't want him to win.
So that was the other thing, right? And so
what was that one golf tournament I was watching with you a couple weeks ago where it came down to, like, it was just, remember, what one was it? Remember we were watching it and they kept going into the woods and you said the snake pit golf hole was really bad.
Yeah.
What was that freaking name of that fucking tournament? And it's the one where nobody big plays in it because they're preparing for the Masters.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because everybody's waiting.
Anyway, that was actually a really fun tournament to watch, actually.
So apparently, Bryson, he was down by 2 starting the day. And Rory immediately double bogeyed, and it was tied after the first hole. And so now everybody's hyping up. These two have never played against each other in the same in a final, right? In a final round.
And it came down
to DeChambeau shit the bed. He shot like a 75. He did terrible, but they interviewed him.
75.
Oh, shit, I'll take.
He did awful. I've never done a 90, but hey.
Yeah, I have actually had, but anyway, still not anything approaching a 75. I assure you. But anyway, I don't know if. Like, I only got the snippet of this, but they're like, so what was it like playing with Rory? He goes, I don't know. He didn't say a word to me.
Oh, I did hear that. Yeah.
Rory didn't say shit to him.
I did.
I'll tell you why.
Well, Rory is very outspoken about the live.
Well, not only was he outspoken about live tournament, and he played with Bryson for a long time. Bryson will get in your fucking head.
Oh, really?
He is
he's mental.
Rory is a stereotypical game face focused kind of golfer with a modicum kind of average amount of emotion on throughout the day, right? He's not a throw his club kind of guy, anything like that. Bryson, different. He is hype. He will high five anybody at any time. He's a really cool guy, I actually think, but so it wouldn't have been terrible to see him win. But anyway, enough golf talk on your show.
It's fine.
Nah.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
Anyway, so I was watching this comedian on Instagram or whatever, and I was just flowing through, and I found this comedian. I'd never heard of her before, and she was really funny. And she said, I was road tripping with my friend or girlfriend, I don't remember. And I was driving, and so she kept handing me apricot slices. And I was eating them because, and I know, they're so freaking delish. I can eat like 10 easily. Sure. And I usually eat them with like almonds, with a little salted almond. So good. Anyway, she's like, so I'm just eating them. And then she goes, hey, did you know that a dried apricot is a whole apricot and not a slice? And she's like, excuse me? She goes, I just ate 17 apricots. And I'm like, wait. Really? And I was like, did you know this? Did you know that a dried apricot is a whole apricot? I think I knew.
Apricot? It looks like well, when you look at it, it doesn't look like a slice. It looks like somebody took the pit out and dried it.
Okay, well, I did not know this.
I mean, it's not a giant fruit, but yeah.
So I've easily eaten 6 to 8 apricots in one sitting.
Probably paid for that too.
Always. But I didn't think anything of it. I just figured, dried fruit, whatever.
They're not slices, yeah.
Can you, because I don't think I could eat 8 whole fresh apricots.
Have you had an dried apricot since?
No. And I really want one.
Yeah.
But the ones we have didn't look good, so I threw them away. And I immediately went and sought them out.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, these are not looking good. threw them out, but I definitely think I'm going to get some more. And I don't know. Now I'm concerned.
20 apricots.
No. Well, it reminds me of when I was pregnant with Mackenzie, and I know you don't know this, and I don't know what Natalie's mom's cravings were when she was pregnant with your daughter, but when I was pregnant with Mackenzie, I had a very strange craving for fruit, and it very specifically nectarines, and they had to be not super ripe. They had to be just barely ripe,
like apple crunchy,
almost just a little under apple crunchy. They were just so perfectly tart, and they were amazing. So I would go to the grocery store and I would buy like 6 pounds of nectarines, and I would just have them, and then I'd pull them out of the fridge after work, and I would eat a couple and be like, oh my God, I'm in heaven, right? Yeah. And I don't even know what that is. Usually your body's telling you you're lacking something, so you eat whatever it is you need. So I would eat nectarines. And one night, it was like a Friday night, because I would never have done this on a work night, because I was sitting on the couch, and I was probably like 7 or 8 months pregnant. I was really pregnant, and I could not stop eating nectarines. I had cut them all up into slices, so I could just eat them like wedges. And it was probably like 10 o'clock at night, and I had eaten so many nectarines that I had a stomach ache, and I was so full, I just couldn't even fathom putting another one in my mouth. But there is something about pregnancy and cravings where you ignore normal
that kind of stuff,
human body things. You just can't help yourself. So I'm sitting there, I started crying, and I was slowly shoveling a nectarine into my mouth. I'm like, I can't help it. And I ate it. It was so hilarious. Wow. Oh my God. So that's the only time that I've ever gone overboard on those types of rock fruit or whatever they're called. Stone fruit. I always said rock fruit. I don't know why. Anyway, so now that I'm never, thanks comedian, I'm never going to not know about apricots now.
Thanks a lot. You ruined it.
Comedian's just ruining my life. All the times. Anyway, also, I do have a hair appointment on Wednesday, and although I have decided I will not cut my hair super short.
Okay.
I am getting it cut.
Okay.
But I don't know how short. But it won't be very to the ear short.
Will I be able to see the ends of your hair in the back looking at you forward? Meaning above the shoulder.
No.
Okay.
I can't. All
right.
It'll be longer than that.
Good.
I can't. Anything shorter than that, and I feel weird.
Okay.
Malia, our daughter's the only one that can get away with it because she's so tiny and cute.
But she doesn't.
She has. Oh. She 100% has done it. Mackenzie did it one time. She decided to imitate Kylie Jenner. Ugh. And she was devastated after because, you get it styled once and it looks amazing. And then you wash your hair a couple days later, you're like, what did I do? And then you look ridiculous. And she's like, Mom, if I ever ask for short hair and bangs again, please tell me no. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I told you to do it the first time, but you didn't listen. So anyway. All right.
Godspeed.
Well, thanks for listening, and we will be back next week with a new show.
Woohoo.
Bye.
Bye.